About bringing your kids to Disney, but not sure which one, Disneyland or Disney World, not even sure what I'm talking about, you didn't realize there were two? Well, keep watching as we discuss the differences between Disneyland in California and Walt Disney World in Florida. I'm Christina.
I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
I grew up going to Disneyland in California. I had an aunt who lived in LA, so we would get to go visit her at least once a year, and of course that meant a trip to Disneyland. Once I started dating my now husband, I would go to Walt Disney World with his family once a year. So I definitely grew up going to both parks. As an adult, I've definitely done a lot more Walt Disney World because it's a lot easier from the Northeast than going all the way over to the West Coast. And I just recently visited both parks with my 4-year-old. And so I want to talk a little bit about how things have changed post-pandemic and what to think about as you're making the decision between Disneyland and Disney World. Let's start with Disneyland. Disneyland is in Anaheim, California, so it's just about 40 minutes outside of LA. It is about 510 acres. It includes Disneyland, California Adventure, 3 hotels, and downtown Disney. So there's only 2 theme parks. The Disneyland Park has quite a lot, actually. It has 60 rides, shows, and attractions. So it does have the most attractions out of any park, despite its small size. Disneyland Park has Sleeping Beauty Castle, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, all of those favorites that you associate with a Disney castle park. Walt Disney World, on the other hand, is located in Florida. It's central Florida and encompasses about 27,000 acres. So basically, you could fit all of Disneyland Resort into the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom is the castle park at Walt Disney World. So that's Cinderella's Castle, again, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, the things you associate with Disney. You also have Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, their downtown district called Disney Springs, 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, and over 30 different resorts. It's on a 40 square mile property, so getting from one end to the other end of the property could be up to a 30-minute drive. Very, very different experiences. In Walt Disney World in Florida, you're going for Walt Disney vacation, right? You're going to be immersed in Walt Disney World, and you're going to be you have plenty of options without ever leaving property. You could spend 7 days there and still not be able to do it all. I've gone 27 times and I have not done it all. Disneyland is going to be a much different experience. That park is a lot more manageable, much smaller. So you're looking at, 3 or 4 days there. You can add on time in San Diego. You can add on time in LA and make it a longer vacation that way, but you're not going to necessarily want to spend 7 days at Disneyland. Another piece of the puzzle is hotels. Disneyland Resort, as I mentioned, has 3 on-site hotels. The Disneyland Hotel, Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, and Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. All of those you can easily walk to the parks from. It's walking distance to all of the parks. You also have dozens of off-property options. Good neighbor hotels is what Disney calls them, that you're able to put together in a package. Those are things like Marriott's, Howard Johnson's. Some of them are within walking distance. Some offer shuttles. So you have a little bit more of an option when it comes to your experience. If you want a budget trip, you can definitely stay at an off-site Disneyland resort with much more convenience than staying at an off-site Disney World resort. Because there are only 3 Disneyland resorts, the off-site resorts also get benefits like early entry that are not offered to off-site guests at Walt Disney World. Why? Because they have almost 30 hotels and only a fraction of them have walking paths to any parks. and often to one. So something that's centrally located for a Magic Kingdom theme park is going to be inconvenient to get to Hollywood Studios. If you're located near Hollywood Studios, getting to the Magic Kingdom is going to be difficult. So there's not one great resort that you can walk everywhere. And like I said, the Good Neighbor hotels at Walt Disney World don't get the same benefits of booking as a Good Neighbor resort at Disneyland. Some of the Disneyland Good Neighbor hotels are across the street. The Walt Disney World offsite hotels, you're going to need to rent a car. You're going to need to pay for parking. You know, getting to the parking lot at the Magic Kingdom, which is the size of Disneyland, is going to, take some time to then get into a park. So definitely things to be thinking about as you are considering the best decision for you. Disneyland and Disney World share some of the same attractions, but they're never identical. So the Pirates in Disneyland is going to be different than the Pirates in Disney World. And some often offer exclusive experiences that can only happen at one park. So if you have kids who are really into Marvel, as an example, the Marvel Avengers campus is only in Disneyland, because when they bought Marvel, they couldn't, in the contract, because Universal had already signed a contract with Marvel to use some of their superheroes in their different attractions in Universal Orlando, Disney cannot use most of the superheroes in Florida. So Marvel's Avengers campus is exclusive to Disneyland. Cars Land is exclusive to Disneyland. Toy Story Land is exclusive to Disney World. So there's definitely some differences, and talking to a travel advisor is going to help you understand which one's going to be the best for you based on your family and their priorities. So you might want to talk, if you have a kid who's really into cars, you might want to consider a Disneyland vacation. If you want really cool experiences like Pandora, the World of Avatar, that's only at Walt Disney World. So important things to know there. One of the other things I want to discuss is crowds. So Walt Disney World is much more of a destination. So you have people coming in from all over the world going to Walt Disney World. They are going to try to make the experience consistent for people who are coming from Brazil and England, and this is usually a once-in-a-lifetime vacation for them, so they want everyone to have similar experiences. Disneyland is a locals park, so they have a lot of annual pass holders, and they want to have people coming back again and again and again, so they try to change things up a little bit more. So unplanned magic, like dancing in Fantasyland with Peter and Wendy, is only going to happen in Disneyland. Okay, that unplanned magic is not really there at Walt Disney World because they're processing so many people and the operations just preclude it. One of the other things that you might notice are the length of the lines. So Walt Disney World's lines are going to get much longer. They're going to be an hour or 2 hours long to wait. Disneyland's is only going to get to be 30, 45, maybe an hour. And so you might say, great, let's go to Disneyland. But with Genie Plus, you have a lot more opportunities at Walt Disney World to skip the line. Genie Plus is a replacement to Disney's old FastPass service. If you want to learn more about Genie Plus, check out this video. And because when everything was built in Disneyland in 1955, they didn't build it thinking that they were going to be accommodating something like this. So a lot of attractions at Disneyland do not offer Disney Genie Plus, which means you don't have an option. If you want to ride that attraction, you have to wait 30, 45, 60 minutes. At Walt Disney World, you might see that the wait time is 2 hours, but you can go ahead and purchase Genie Plus, and you know that Genie Plus is typically around $15 per person per day. It does go up to $27 on really busy days, but you can go ahead and skip the line with that, and many more attractions at Walt Disney World offer that. So even though looking at wait times, it might seem like Disneyland's are less, my daughter and I got very frustrated with the inability to use Genie Plus on a lot of attractions and having to wait in lines that we wouldn't typically wait in Walt Disney World. So those are some things to think about as you're thinking about that experience. Of course, you could get a VIP tour guide. It's offered in both parks. Here's a video on the VIP tour guides that will help you skip the lines. They offer that service, which is really, really great. So you have options. Walt Disney World is an experience. It's large. It's all consuming. You're not going to be able to do it all. It's going to be a busy vacation. Disneyland is much smaller, much more intimate, a little bit more charming. You're going to spend 3 or 4 days there, but you're going to want to add more to your trip, either at the beach or in wine country or something along those lines. There's so much to do in California, but you're not going to spend a whole week at Disneyland. If you're from the East Coast, it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to fly 6 hours out to Disneyland for 2 parks without adding something else onto it. If you're in Colorado or very local to the park, then going in for a long weekend makes sense. So depending on where you're located, depending what your kids' interests are, totally everything depends. And so that's why it's great to work with a professional. The team at Showcase the World Travel would love to hear more about what you're looking for from your vacation, so we can help you decide whether Walt Disney World or Disneyland is going to be your better option. You can schedule a call with us by clicking the link below. And don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.